Although we've come to the end of the road, Rena can't let go of the pettiness, of the extraness. She hates Kathy. Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 Reunion Part 3. It is over. Finally, it has been a pleasure reviewing this season. It's my favorite franchise. Part 3 was brutal and ended on quite the somber note. Let's get into the episode. So the reunion continues and they start out with some fluff before we get down and dirty. So this is dedicated to the single ladies of the cast. How's their dating life? They start with Sutton, her and her little cat sweater. They're asking if she's still with that Indian guy she was dating. She says they're friends. And she says no friends with benefits. And I'm like, is that possible in the straight world for like a man and a woman to be friends? Y'all let me know in the comments. But then we get to Erika, who definitely says she's been getting some D, and she's happy about that. She even goes into detail, like a gay man. She's like, oh, I got a roster, and it's nice that someone can stay hard for once. A little bit more information than I wanted, but good for her. Must be nice. So while we're on Erika, we get to her reel, and she's been quite the disaster this season. We see multiple times she's been drunk. We see that she cussed out Garcelle's son. And then we see Garcelle checking her in the end of it. Erika, I don't have to make you look bad. You can look bad on your own. Followed by Kyle with her mouth dropped. So Andy asks her, how do you feel looking back at this? Like your behavior, the drinking. She says she doesn't recognize herself, and she says she did that to numb the pain and just forget what she was going through. I mean, if her real friends in the Fox Force 5 would have sat her down and told her mixing pills and alcohol ain't cool, maybe she wouldn't be regretting her behavior looking back at the season. But they don't care about her. They're too busy being yes people to her. So Andy then asks Garcelle, at what point did you confront Erika about her drinking? And she says, when the Jax incident happened, that's when. After that, Garcelle asks Erika, out of all the people at the party, why did you tell that to my son? Like with all the grown-ups around, you didn't tell it to PK, Mauricio. Why my son? Erika's only reply is she was being drunk and stupid. But that wasn't the wake-up call for her because she got drunk multiple times afterward. You'd think that if you were drunk enough to curse someone's kid out, that you would be like, oh, I should stop drinking like this in public. Then Garcelle checks Dorit. She's like, Dorit, how come you didn't say nothing? Oh, darling, I did say something. I was horrified. Girl, please. Like, the cameras roll back the footage. She didn't hold Erika accountable at all. Like, she thought it was a joke. Ooh, and now Kyle's in the hot seat for laughing at it with Mauricio as well as Dorit and PK. I think we all remember when they were just having a key at the expense of Garcelle's son. And then we see Mauricio high-ass in this clip. I think it's great that she did that. And Dorit surely was laughing. Like, didn't even take it seriously. But if it was any of their children, just imagine if Garcelle's son got drunk at the party and I don't know, Portia was there, Kyle's daughter, and he told her to fuck off. That would have been it. Like this probably would have been Garcelle's last season if that happened. Kyle's excuse is when she saw the episode and saw exactly what happened, then she was mortified of her laughing. But Garcelle says, but what is funny at all about it, even if you didn't see it? Yeah, Kyle ain't got nothing to say. She's like, oh, that's my bad. And Garcelle, she points out the obvious. Like, if the roles were reversed, it would have been such a problem. And that probably would have been as big as the Kathy incident. Oh, Dorit, save it. First of all, Garcelle, I was shocked when it happened. It was like a knife to my gut. Girl, it was not like that. We saw you on camera. Do they know they're being filmed? Do they? According to Dorit, she said she did check Erika. I'm thinking it was off camera or something. How convenient. Andy asked Garcelle, did she feel complete after Erika's apology? And she said, well, I accepted her apology, but in this group where, you can do something terrible, if they say, oh, I own it, I'm sorry, they just expect you to just move on from that. No, it's not like that in real life. So she said she accepted it, but shit like that takes time to get over. I know it would take me some time. So now we move on to Erika's legal drama. First, she's reading the judgment of that case she was let go of in Chicago, but it's soon going to reopen in LA. Like, she's very proud of that. Andy then asks her, with all the concrete evidence that Tom definitely stole from people, can you still say if there are victims? But Erika, she's answering the questions like she's on the stand. She's like, well, I have no victims. But you're benefiting off of stolen funds from victims. I think that's where the disconnect comes from, because we could have still been liking Erika, but she does not give a fuck about the victims. That's the thing. No one is saying you did anything, but you did benefit off of victims. Point blank, period, dot. Like, why is 1 + 1 = 7 for her? Andy then asks her, what is her response to when the women say that you don't express enough empathy? And she said, well, that's their problem. Look, an unapologetic cold bitch to the end. Dorit tries to get through to Erika and say, well, darling, it's your delivery. But Erika, she's on defense all the time. She compares it to the plane going down. She got to take care of herself first. Whatever, let her continue to be loud and wrong. Erika's trying to explain herself, but I just don't see any type of humility. Even Andy's like, oh, you do feel bad about it. She's like, yes, Andy. Well, look, we can't tell. Now we're on her outburst in Aspen, and Kyle speaks up and says, she really couldn't defend Erika and what she was saying. Erika's like, well, I would have appreciated if you were more neutral. Kyle's like, what are you talking about? She couldn't do that, which I'm glad Kyle stood up to Erika, because normally they all stick up for her no matter what. Kyle tries to tell Erika that she was out of control, but Erika thinks that she was just angry. No, Erika, you lost complete control of your emotions. You were yelling, you were being belligerent. Yeah, you are! Or cite it! You were on pills and alcohol, allegedly, and just saying real crude shit. Like, to the point where you need to be escorted out by your friends. Side note, the camera is just staying on Garcelle's facial expressions. They say everything. At this point, her allies and even Andy are trying to tell her that she is loud and wrong. Like, Andy is saying it's not landing. Whatever type of sympathy or empathy you're trying to convey, it's not. But she don't see that. So we finally get to the earrings, and Erika acknowledges that she had to turn them in. But Andy's question is, why are you trying to fight for them? But she says, oh, but I don't have them. I turned them over. Trying to dodge the question. And then Andy points out, didn't you file for appeal? So you're trying to get it back. She's like, for legal reasons, we're appealing. Andy's like, but you're trying to get them back. She's like, for legal reasons, we're appealing. Girl, can we move on? She also says her last communication with Tom is about like a week ago. She still talks to him on and off. I don't know, I still think he's pretending in that little home he was put in. Now, Andy, asking Erika, does she think about Ruth Madoff? I mean, that is a wild question. That is very inappropriate. I mean, we already see the parallels. I mean, I'm not sure if she thinks about it. So Andy's last question for Erika is, do you miss your old life? And Erika says, well, I don't cry about everything. Like, oh my God, I miss my earrings, I miss my house. She does reminisce a lot. But she says, she has jobs, the Housewives and stuff. P.S. Word on the street is they're bringing her back to Chicago, the musical. You haven't heard it from me, but it's a rumor. But she says all she's trying to do now is just fight for herself. She then tries to squeeze out a few tears and ask for a tissue, and then they move on. Side note, I just want to point out earlier a little bit of irony I just noticed, like how she said that she still talks to Tom because of humanity, yet she doesn't give a fuck about the victims, which is just crazy to me. Anyway, we see that Kathy Hilton's about to come out. She's in her room getting dressed. She looks good. Like, that face is beat and that hair is laid. Don't really care for the dress though. Oh, and if you want to watch my looks review for the reunion, it's in the playlist for Beverly Hills season 12. Go look at it. Ooh, when Kathy comes out, you see the looks on Renna and Erika's faces. Just stone-faced. We see Kathy look at them and say, hi, girls. I don't know, it was so funny to me, that part. So Andy gets into some pleasantries with Kathy, and Kathy still manages to shade Lisa Rinna in the process. They were talking about, I think she was responding to her husband on a DM saying, "Get me out of here," when it came to Aspen. And she said, "Well, yeah, I deleted it 20 minutes later like Lisa." Okay, Kathy came ready to play. Look, even when her reel for the season was playing, she was addressing Rinna. Like, this is a very different Kathy than when we got last year. She like, "Ain't no hunky-dory, bitch." So first, they addressed the tequila drama. Now, Kathy says she wasn't mad at Lisa Rinna. She was more so mad at Kyle. She had an expectation, I guess, to show off the tequila. She also says that she didn't realize watching the season that she had so many times to be able to market the tequila. And production reminds us, they show us at least 4 instances where she's shown off this tequila. So for her to be mad about this, it did seem pretty silly. Now I gotta look at it at both sides. I know we all love Kathy, we hate Rinna, we love to see her drag her, but I think it was an overreaction on Kathy's part. But I still think Lisa Rinna did that to agitate Kathy, even though Lisa says she didn't do it on purpose. When Kathy said she was disappointed for expecting something, here go the tears from Kyle. She was like, "It's always my fault. I didn't do anything. I were at Kemosabe. Kemosabe." I'm like, Kathy, like, Kyle is no reason to cry off of this. It really isn't. Like, Kathy is sitting there chilling while Kyle is just like a nervous wreck. Now, Andy does get Kathy to admit, though, that she was irritated by that. But like I said in the last few of my reviews, Kathy Hilton is very entitled, and she'll have a hissy fit if she's told no, because the word no does not exist in her world. So now we get to the nightclub drama. So Kathy gives us a play-by-play. She said that she wanted to hear some music, have a good night with her girls. She went up to the DJ and requested a song. He couldn't hear her, or he probably ignored her. My best friend is a DJ, and he says the number one thing that irritates DJs is when people request songs. Now, when I say this, I mean actual DJs who actually have a set or whatever. And I get it. But if you're willing to pay somebody to play a song, I think that's different. So she says she went up to the manager, and isn't that just so white woman? I'd like to speak to the manager, please. So she says she tells the manager that she wanted to pay to play a song, and she's been coming here for the past 30 years. She never has a problem with it, or when she goes to London or overseas. And look, people, entitled white women like Kathy, I worked in the service industry at fine dining restaurants. I'm sure it went a whole different way. She was trying to put down that card, that white woman card, that entitlement card. So I get it from the manager's perspective why he probably got attitude with her. So she says he told her, "Oh, so where are you from?" When she said LA, he told her, "Well, you can go to LA then." And that's when she stormed off, had a hissy fit. And then we get to Kyle. She says she went over to Kyle to say she's ready to go. But Kyle says it's a different story. She says she came up to her demanding to leave, was yelling at her, was making a scene, and Kyle was like, "You're not going to talk to me like this." You know, I'm sure her relationship is already rocky with her sisters, and Kathy used to talking to her any kind of way because of the power dynamic between them. On this show, maybe Kyle's the queen bee, but outside of that, is Kathy Hilton, definitely. So as Kyle says she blew up on her, we get Erika's perspective. She said Kathy came up to her and said the manager's being an old fucking F word, a cigarette. And Miles dropped. You know, Andy's face looks at her. Look, I totally believe it. I believe it. It really fascinates me that no one really cares that Kathy said it or potentially said it. Hey, it's basically her word against Erika's. There was no cameras. So I could see why she sent the cease and desist to Bravo, because there's no proof. Now with Marlo, she said it on camera, she couldn't deny it because she definitely did at first. So I don't put it past Kathy. Yeah, I'll be lying too. Like, you didn't get it on camera. So it's just my word against yours. So now we have Erika and Kathy Hilton going at it. And that was delicious, y'all. When Kathy told Erika matter-of-factly, "Well, I think I just have a little bit more credibility than you," I was like, oh, ho, 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 ho. She got her. She definitely got her. Erika says she's not lying though. She has no reason to lie. She has nothing to lose. She reminds us that a lot. Kathy says no one else heard her say that, and that's when Erika says, well, that's because you told it directly to me. Now, let's pause right quick. So, y'all know that rumor came out already before this aired that she used the F word, maybe the N word, but how if no one heard it but Erika did it leak to the press? So that means Erika got caught in a lie. Now, I don't think she lied about Kathy saying that to her. I believe her on that. You know, I can't stand her, but I don't think she would lie about that. But she did lie about leaking that to the press. Maybe she told somebody and then that person went to the press for her. So I'm guessing she technically didn't lie. I don't know, but she definitely caught herself on that. Some other tea we find out is Andy said there was an investigation into what Kathy said, her saying the F word, because it was an HR issue and it came back inconclusive. Now, the only reason it came out to be inconclusive was because it's he said, she said. Much like when Ebony K. Williams, I'm not sure if y'all knew, but there was an investigation on Housewives of New York with Ramona saying the N-word to a producer. And since it was only one person that came forward and heard it, then that became inconclusive as well. So that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's just they can't prove it without a shadow of a doubt. So then they just move on from that. So then we get to Lisa's perspective from the Sprinter van to Kyle's Aspen house. So according to Renna, Kathy had a meltdown in the Sprinter. That's where it began. Kathy says she thought that she could vent to Lisa. Like there was no cameras, so she thought she would keep this in confidence. You do not trust Lisa Renna. Much like Giselle Bryant, we don't trust Lisa Renna. That was Kathy's mistake. And it is kind of shitty of Renna to do that if it was a conversation in confidence. I get that her loyalty is with Kyle, but she could have told Kyle that off camera. Like this had nothing to do with the season on camera. Lisa made it a thing, and that's why I think a lot of people are on Kathy's side. Kathy then calls out Lisa, well, you heard me say all that stuff. Didn't you say, I get it, I get it? Kathy, anytime she imitates Renna, is just hilarious. I'm sure Renna backstabbing ass was like, yeah, Kathy, yeah, I get it, with full intent to blow up her spot later in front of the cameras and Kyle. Andy then reads the long list of insults that Kathy allegedly said according to Lisa. Kathy denies everything, and who wouldn't? If it's not on camera, lie. Like, of course Kathy isn't going to say, yeah, Doreen, I called you a dumb bitch, a dumb, useless bitch. Yes, Crystal, I called you a peon. Sutton, I called you the same thing. Look, if it's not on camera, it didn't happen. And that's the logic Kathy's going with. So then we have a weird moment where Kathy kind of took an L and didn't realize it. So she pulls her phone out and says, oh yeah, Lisa, these text messages, I don't see them. I don't see them in my phone. Lisa's like, it's definitely in my phone. Clearly, all Kathy did was delete the message and thought that just deletes on both ends, and it didn't. That right there proves to me that she's capable of lying, and she's not that innocent. I'm not that innocent. So they're still going at it, and I think Lisa fails to realize that Kyle told her that she doesn't want to know what mean things Kathy said about her, and to just stay out of it. But Lisa messy ass continued to insert herself like a butt plug. So now they're discussing the scene between Kathy, Kyle, and Lisa. Kathy says she's mad at Kyle for trying to make her apologize to Lisa, and she didn't know what she owed Lisa an apology for. Kathy says that Lisa was concerned with extending her contract by having this drama on camera. She also accuses Lisa of driving off past cast members from the show, like Lisa Vanderpump, her sister Kim, Camille. Look, Kim isn't even on this season, and Kathy was defending her. I guess Kim was right. Kathy is a real sister. Kathy then calls Lisa the biggest bully in Hollywood. And I'm sorry, I want that on the shirt. They're still going back and forth. Lisa says she was abused by her. They're both trying to out-white woman each other. Everyone, including Andy, is trying to suggest to Lisa, why don't you just stay out of it? Like, if Kyle tells you she wants to move on, why don't you do that? So then Lisa begrudgingly agrees to, you know what? I'm going to stay out of it. From here on out, I'm going to stay out of it. And I'm sure after this air, you can go to Lisa Rinna's Instagram and she's still on some shady shit. And even asked Rinna, how is she traumatized by this after all the things she's done in past seasons? Like, she's yelled at people. I mean, even the way she's yelled at Sutton. I wouldn't be surprised if Denise or Yolanda is going to therapy because of Lisa Rinna. Rinna doubled downs with her response and calls Kathy the devil as well as a fucking monster. Kyle, like, she is still a crying mess. In that moment, she should have defended her sister. Like, even if she agrees with Rinna, even if she is a monster behind the scene, you don't let nobody talk about your sister like that. Not in front of everybody. Jeez, that's probably why Kathy's mad at you. But yeah, Kyle is a wreck. She's near hyperventilating. She said, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything. I think what makes Kyle's crying so annoying to all of us is she refuses to take any ownership and she immediately plays the victim. Andy and Garcelle both ask Kyle, why aren't you more mad at Lisa Rinna? And she says that she's more mad at the situation. Look, Kathy and Kyle's relationship, that dysfunction runs deep. And I think they're both at fault, honestly. And there has to be some reason why Kyle is terrified of her sister. But yeah, Kyle continues to break down. Kathy looks very annoyed with her. And Kyle is just laying on the woe is me just so thick. When Dorit mentions to Kyle that maybe she wants you to accept some responsibility between the two of you, Kyle snaps at her immediately because of that. I'm like, where was that energy for Rinna when she kept inserting herself in y'all beef? Kyle says she hopes to work everything out, and Andy asked that question to Kathy. She says, well, we're sisters, we'll work it out. She then gives Kyle the most awkward hug I've ever seen in my life. So after that, Kathy's segment is over. We see during the break when she's about to leave, she's still pissed at Kyle, and Kyle's like, what did I do? Like, why are you mad? Why are you mad? Kathy just gets up. She was just like, I don't want to talk about it. And poor Kyle just sitting there distressed. So the reunion's winding down. It looks like they're about to do a toast. And Kyle turns to the other ladies. I can't do a toast. I can't do a toast. She turns to Andy. Can I just go? Can I just go? So then Andy continues to close out the reunion with some final thoughts amongst the cast, blah, blah, blah. Production then brings out Dorit's signature drink, Belvedere soda, 3 lemons, carcass out for all of them to toast to. So they all get up and toast, and Kyle doesn't want to do it, and instead, she inserts her fist in the toast, which she should have just left before the toast. I don't know, it was awkward. So the reunion is over. Andy gives her a big hug. He feels so sorry for her. And she just walks off set. She then goes immediately to her dressing room. So in a last fourth wall break, we see Dorit visiting Kyle. She's trying to calm her down, give her encouraging words. During this, we see Kathy leaving the set. We're back with Kyle, and she looks like she's about to face a firing squad after she leaves the building. Like, she is just so distraught. So then Dorit hugs her, and that is where the episode ends. But not before production letting us know that the next time that Kyle saw Kathy was at BravoCon. And I'm thinking that was at least a month and a half at the most. So yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's where it ends on a very somber note, unfortunately, but that was quite the reunion. I'll give it a solid B, because part 2, it was kind of blah, kind of boring. They could have did 2 parts, an hour and 15 minutes each. I think we would have got our money's worth. But yeah, y'all, that is the season. I think collectively overall, I would give season 12 an A. Everybody brought it. Of course, y'all know who I would not bring back next season. Cut Crystal, of course, racist Diana. Demote Dorit to friend. And I don't care if Lisa stays or goes. Like, people say they don't want her on here, but if next season is boring, y'all are to blame. Just saying. But yeah, I would love to know y'all thoughts on the whole Kathy versus Lisa, whose side y'all on. My battery's dying, so unfortunately I can't go into detail on that. But yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.